Shakas, guys. Surfer Ken is back here in beautiful Old Lyme, Connecticut, on the beach. Old Lyme, the home of Lyme disease. And that's a fact. Yep, gonna try to catch some waves today, but by the looks of things, check out the lineup. Does not look good. Terrible sets coming in, so we're probably just going to hang out on the shore. I was going to give you a breakdown for upcoming Strikeforce Kaufman versus Rousey, but I'm probably just going to chill on the beach, do it at home. Shucks, guys, so I'm back here to give you a breakdown for Strikeforce Honda versus Kaufman. Should be a decent night of fights, I guess. There's a championship belt on the line. Going through it, you know, with Strikeforce's very frugal roster, this is as good as it gets for them. As always, it looks like a pretty pickable, easy pick card, but let me start at the bottom, right? I'm going to do the whole card. I'm going to try to do it quick, as always, and it never happens. So I'll start at the bottom. Keith the KO Kid Berry going against Adlan Amagov. Okay, Amagov is better everywhere. I'm trying to think of what the KO Kid is better at, but I don't. Even his KO power is not as much as Adlan Amagov's. Got to go with the Greg Jackson fighter here. I say he KOs the KO Kid and proves to everyone that Robbie Lawler got lucky with that flying knee. All right, first round KO Amagov. All right, next up we got Matt Ricehouse against Bobby Green. Yeah, Ricehouse has been away for a while. What happened to him? I'm trying to look up what happened to him. Seems like he hasn't fought in like forever. I remember he beat Ryan Couture, who currently is on a hot streak. And he fought another guy since then, but I wonder if he got injured or, like I said, because the roster is very weak and bleak right now. Anyways, going against Bobby Green, who is always fun to watch. I remember some of his fights, yes, most notably the one against Jay-Z Cavalcante, fight that I definitely thought he won. It was a robbery, I thought. It was a split decision robbery, in my opinion. Both these guys are well-rounded, but I am going with Bobby Green. I think he's better everywhere, and Ricehouse has just been on the shelf for way too long. I'll go with him split decision. I'll go with Bobby Green split decision. Right. Next up, we got Anthony Lionheart Smith going against Lumumba Sayers. Oof. This should be a slugfest here. Two heavy hitters, very equally matched. Even their ground games are at the same level of mediocrity. I am going with Lumumba Sayers here. Dude has looked impressive in his last couple fights. He slammed Scott Smith in his last fight. He hits very hard, and Smith is very hittable. I say he KOs another Smith and gets the second round TKO due to strikes. Next up, we got Tariq Saffiedine going against Roger Relentless Bowling. Okay, this is actually a pretty tough fight to call. Bowling is back after beating down that Nazi asshole. Well, this could be fun if it stays standing. It would be in Roger's best interest, though, in my opinion, to try to out-grapple Tariq, knowing that's possibly the way to beat him. T. Wood did it. I know that he's not as good a wrestler as Woodley, but that would be one way to beat him. But Tariq has been training with Team Quest, so he might be ready for Roger Bowling's wrestling. Now, Roger is not a slouch in the stand-up department. He has picked apart opponents in the past, and he does have a lot of power. I do think he's more technical as a striker. Some people might argue with that. I'm speaking of Tariq over Roger. I do think he's more technical than Roger. I think Roger does have the power advantage. He's just a bigger guy, more muscular. Like I said, he's no slouch in the striking department, but Tariq has a solid chin. So it's going to be a very tough fight to pick. I don't think anybody's going to get finished here, in my opinion. I think we're going to have a unanimous decision, a very gritty unanimous decision, whoever wins it. And I think when it comes down to the decisions, it favors Tariq Saffiedine. He's just got a better gas tank. This is a tough fight to call, but I will be going with Tariq Saffiedine in a very gritty, unanimous decision over Roger Bowling. All right, next up we got Julie the Fireball Kedzie going against Misha Tate. Wow, Tate is back already after that nasty armbar from Honda. Kedzie hasn't fought since last summer, so she potentially has a lot of ring rust. She's a scrappy fighter. She's got a Taekwondo background. Tate is a wrestler with some good submissions. Would have been nice to see her fight Marlies Kunin. Their submission game again for the second time. But Zuffa, you know what they do. And well, the whole Golden Glory Zuffa thing. Yeah, so in this case, I think her arm might be a little weak. It's only been about 4 months since her fight. If Kedzie can exploit that weak arm of hers, I think she can make this potentially an interesting fight. But Tate is, I think, too good to make a mistake against a striker like Julie Kedzie. I gotta go with Tate here, guys. Her striking is good enough to set up her takedowns, get the submission. She won't have to worry about her arm if it goes to the ground like she would against Honda or Marlies. I got Tate. I'd say she gets the submission in the later rounds, possibly UD. I'm worried about her arm strength this soon after that fight, but I still am going with her to get the submission. I think she just is better than Julie, and she'll be able to get it to the ground relatively easily. Alright, next up we got TJ Cook against OSP, Ovince St. Preux. OSP's back. I remember when he fought 3 times in like a month, so this is a long layoff under his standards. Hasn't fought since, what was that UD to loss to Musashi. He's legit, guys. I think he's legit. So, easy breakdown. I say OSP hurts TJ in the stand-up, finishes him on the ground. That's simple. TKO due to strikes or more likely a submission. I say rear naked in the first round. Right. Next up we got Ronaldo Jacare Sousa versus Derek Brunson. So Jacare I think is better everywhere. Just everywhere. He needs to go to the UFC now, guys. I think it's his time. This division is cleared out. Brunson might have a better wrestling game, and I read he was a national champion cheerleader somewhere, so he can cheer Jacare into a submission. I don't know. Sorry, North Carolina, but Jacare via submission. I'm going to go with an arm triangle choke. Seems to work well against wrestlers. Arm triangle choke, second round. Last fight I'm going to call Honda Rowdy Rousey going against Sarah Kaufman. I got Honda here, guys. I'm going to do just a little MMA math here, just a little. I hate doing it. Now, if Alexa Davis can take down Sarah and Marlies Kunin can lock in an armbar, I'm fairly certain Honda can do the same. Now, mind you, Alexa has way better striking. You know, she set up her takedowns with that striking, and Honda's striking is not nearly as dangerous or nearly as good for that matter. But she does have a very aggressive clinch game, and she's able to eat punches. We saw that in the Tate fight, and still keep coming. All right, I just see her clinching up Sarah, drag her into the ground, and locking in submission. You know, she'll have 25 minutes to get close enough to work her clinch game. Very aggressive clinch game. Her judo, ippon Sarah to the ground, or just drag her down there. Now, Kaufman could keep her distance and snipe Honda. You know, just stay away, keep her distance, find her range, and just snipe her all night, win a UD, or possibly even get TKO due to strikes. But I don't see her doing it for 5 straight rounds. I think Ronda's eventually going to get a hold of her, just outpower her. You know, she's more athletic. She was an Olympic judo bronze medalist. I got to go with Honda here to get a hold of Sarah. Do some judo shit, get that arm, rip it off. I'd say late first, early second. That's it, guys. Let me know what you think of any or all these picks. I'll talk to you soon. Kaufman Surfer Ken out.